Welcome back to another episode of Who Am I to Judge podcast. I'm Alexis.
And I'm Samantha. We're
Hello.
How
that kind
are
of sounded
you?
good together. How are
I'm
you?
like, we're harmonizing.
Literally, how are you?
I am blessed and highly favored. Okay, that is how I am.
Okay. Tell me about how you're blessed and highly favored. Tell me about it.
Well, it's all about perspective. That's what life is about. So I am just counting my blessings. Everything is happening as it should. I feel like things are working themselves out in my life. I will announce those things when they actually happen.
I'm curious about this.
I mean, I'm like connecting dots and looking for new opportunities and stuff. So,
love to see it.
So yeah, and then I have like randomly, I have a lot of days off this week, and so it's just divinely happening like that because I just have a lot of stuff to do. And today I went to get my nails done with Danielle.
That's nice.
Which we haven't done in a long time. I haven't got my nails done in a long time.
I haven't got my nails done in, I can't even, maybe, maybe, did I have my nails done for graduation?
I don't even want to say what. Yes, you did. You got your nails done.
Did I?
Yes, you showed them on the show. But
oh, okay.
I don't want to say how long it's been. It's been.
I mean, I don't think many people get their nails done regularly.
People do.
I don't. Honestly, I've never been that girly. Have you?
I've had phases where I've gotten a few fill-ins, but it's usually I let them fall off and then I go back to get them.
I have gone probably like 7 months before, maybe a year.
Alexis, I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, it's been a long time. And it's the summertime. Like I do usually try to have my toes done in the summer. So
that's nice.
But I have not been doing that. So it was so nice to just do that and relax. I aspire to be that girly, to have my nails done a lot, like all the time.
I just don't care. I guess that's like the thing about me. It's like I care more about having my hair done than my nails. So if like one has to go, it's always going to be my nails, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, my hair is...
Well, you have just shade. You can do it, yeah.
I can do my hair myself. But I also feel like with my toes and my nails, like obviously like my toes, I just like them to look cute. And then, but I have one good thing about not getting your nails done is like you learn to love your feet naturally,
Hell yeah.
So I think my feet are cute without nail polish or with it. But
hell yeah.
No, Jupiter.
When I tell you I don't think about my toenails at all, like I feel like I go places and my mom's like, look at your toes. It's like I don't think about my nails at all.
No, I do. I like to have my, and then I also like, this is like, a little personal, I guess, but I have a bad habit of sometimes biting my nails. So that helps me to not do it when I get my nails done. So that is that's honestly another reason why I'm like, I need to do this because
I love how that's personal. That you bite your nails.
I just feel like it's a bad habit. It's so gross.
That's really funny. Well, okay. I'm glad you're having a good week. And
how
you have
are
some days
you?
off. I'm good. Today
Working woman.
Yes, it was a good work day. I got my hair cut and she did a flat twist out, but I'm putting it in my puffs.
Yeah, I'm like,
well, you have to put it in your puffs before you put it in the bonnet, and so it's in the puffs.
Oh, you ready to go to bed?
Oh, I had a bonnet on literally before I got on this. Like I don't play. Like once I get my hair done, it goes right into the scarf for the bonnet.
That's what we do too.
And so
but like, mostly when I would get my like hair pressed, I would like wrap it.
Oh, it's anything for me. Like, well, like it's just like. When it depends, like it's just like when your hair is different lengths. My hair is at the length where you have to do the puffs to go to sleep, so it doesn't like condense, and it's not long enough to do like the pineapple or just put a bonnet on. So yeah, I do the puffs, and that's why I have those like crazy ponytails whenever I'm on here because I do the puffs.
Okay, so she's getting ready for bed, guys.
Absolutely. And so I'm doing my. So I didn't. Yeah, it was nice. It was really cute. I took a picture. I'll send it to you like when I was leaving the salon. And then what else did I do? I mean, work, but we're here with Emmy's. We're watching Emmy this week, so that's been like a fun addition. having little Emmy here. It
How
hasn't
was
been
the
weird.
hair salon? Did you like
Oh, I'm
it?
going back. I told Julia, like, this is what I deserve. Like, I told myself, like, I wasn't, like, I initially, it was on my list before I combed out my locks, but I was like, I'm not going because it's too expensive. And at the time, I didn't have a job, so it just was stupid to spend my money on that. But now that I have a job and I'm only going for trims, which is like 4 times a year, I was like, okay, I can drop. I mean, it's not that much. It's like 180, but it's like, but it's like two for every 4 months. So I like literally was like, I booked like cut because I wanted her to like shape my fro so that whenever I wear it in the washing and stuff, it's like rounded rather than whatever diamond or whatever the hell it was before. And then she did the flat twist out, and then so next time I was like, all right, I'll be booking it in 3 months. She was like, okay. So I literally came home, booked a November something appointment for her.
Okay.
And I was like, that's like the one thing I told myself when I went like loose natural. I was like, I will keep up with the trims. Like, I don't care if my hair looks like crap any other day, but it's like, I will keep up with the trim. So it just continues to grow. And so that was good. But yeah, it was really cute. I love the little curls that we did with the flat twist out.
Yay.
And oh my God, this is the last thing I'll say. When she blow dried my hair, I was like, damn. I mean, I knew this with locks that like hair grows, but I feel like with this, I have so much shrinkage, it's hard to tell. When she blow dried it, it was like probably like down to like here.
Oh my God.
Oh shit. But then she cut like an inch off because like, you know, I had like some split ends. So like it went up to like here, I would say. And so I was like, okay, like, you know, I remember it like it's just interesting.
Yes,
like
hair grows.
So like I was like, yeah, I feel like I saw it more with my locks because it was like
but it was dramatic.
Like, and it was no shrinkage with your locks, you know?
Right.
But so it was cool to see. And I was like, yep, I need to keep up with these trims. So it continues to do that and keeping up with the weekly washes. So yeah, it was good.
Yay.
I'm trying to think if there was anything new. But no, Emmy's here, so that's like a new thing.
Emmy's a dog. I don't know if I cut you off when you said that maybe.
There's no weirdness, you know what I'm saying? Like last time with Tonks, it was like kind of weird with Emmy and Tonks. Emmy is clearly scared of Tonks, but like there's no like weird aggression.
Tonks is Julia's.
Yes, Tonks is Julia's dog, who's a lab. But now Emmy's just like it's a good thing, and like I'm happy.
That's good. I'm glad it's a better. This time they're like, you know, they know what the deal is.
Well, yes, they do know what the deal is. And I told you I booked my knotless appointment, so I'm excited to do that when I come home. I haven't seen myself in braids in so long.
I know, right? I like have memories of you in braids.
It's gonna be. I was like, this is
your Senegalese twist.
Yes, I used to always get my Senegalese. I loved my Senegalese, but yes, so I'm like excited for this. So yeah,
I know. I'm about to actually do some. So.
She's about to get a knotless braid wig.
No, I do want to get some wigs, but I'm definitely about to dye my hair and
red.
I am gonna do a color.
Purple.
I'm pretty sure
the purple, like grayish, the purple gray. That's beautiful.
I do want to do that one day, but I think I'm gonna do pink again.
Oh, that'd be cute. Yeah,
I haven't. I like did it once, but I didn't really do it. So
go for it this time.
Yeah. So yeah.
When are you gonna do it?
Between today, hopefully the next time I'm on this video, it will be done.
Are you gonna do it?
Yep.
Good job.
I'm gonna do it. I mean, it's pretty, like, once you dye it blonde, it's like just putting it on there, you know, and leaving it
right,
on
and you're already doing it blonde, so it's just like, yeah.
The blonde is, cutting it and the blonde is probably the most, you know, scary part, which I did cut it in. You know, it's not perfect. I mean, I cut it again.
Oh, I like it.
But it's not, you know, I'm still learning how to cut my own hair. But hey, when you color it, it all kind of blends in. So yeah.
Yeah. I love the vocal fry. Yeah.
Ew, that reminds me of.
It's awful.
What's that movie called? The Grudge.
Oh my God, The Grudge. Yes. Okay, but let's get to it. We need to get what the people want.
Okay, is that our let's get to it for this week?
Now let's get to it. Mello just like popped up. Who is on trial? Or you can ask me. Whoever.
Yeah, let's ask you, because who is on trial this week? Alexis.
Yes, I feel like I definitely want to talk about the Big Sean like interview he had with Charlamagne about Jhené Aiko, and I can kind of give a little background. So as everyone, well, I don't know if everyone knows this, but Janae Aiko and Big Sean have been off and on since 2016. They just recently, a little over a year ago, had a baby together, their son Noah, their first child together. And I believe Janae Aiko has moved in with him. And so they have,
I don't
they
know
have been together. I just know this because like
you're a fan.
I went through a phase of being like obsessed with Janae Aiko, and I still love her, but I'm just saying like I learned a lot about
I knew
her
they were together and they had a baby.
Yes. And so they have a son, and you know, like they've been together for a while. So there was this Janae Aiko is on tour right now, and I know this because I tried to buy tickets, but they were like $400. I'm like, I'm not paying for that. But even though I love you, girl. But like, so anyway, like they were on tour, and he was like singing a song. This all goes together. He was singing, I forget some song. It's a very popular song he has. He has something, he talks about like a ring, and then Janae Aiko's like dancing next to him and like mouths like, where my ring at, right? And so people are just like, oh, okay. And so then flash forward to Big Sean sits down and has a sit down interview with Charlamagne the God, and Charlamagne the God asks about his status with Janae Aiko, like,
when are y'all getting married?
When are y'all getting married? And so he has this like long-winded answer. He says it's a very personal question, and he feels uncomfortable even answering it. But then he also says that you know, he feels like they need to work on some things, and like it's not perfect, and that like he seems like there's too much pressure to get married these days. Divorce rates are high, and basically in a nutshell says that like that's a big commitment. He's not ready for that, and and so it sparked, they got
work to do.
They have work to do, and it's not perfect. And so then it sparked this whole debate on like Twitter, well, Black Twitter, I would say, and Black TikTok, about how like men are just like, especially in celebrity culture, but also I think they were just saying men in general.
But also just the Black community, I feel like.
What'd you say?
I feel like the Black community more than others.
How like having a baby to some men is less of a commitment and less serious than getting married, which is like wild. And so people were kind of shaming him, being like, you know, like you're saying marriage is too big of a commitment, but y'all literally have a whole fucking baby together, a whole person you're raising, a human that you have to be responsible for.
Will be connected with them,
and so for the rest of your life. Like, how is a baby less of a commitment than a fucking marriage? So I'm curious of your thoughts. Like, what are your thoughts on like the whole situation? And sorry, I just want to say one last thing. Go ahead. And people also are just like talking to Janae, being like, girl, leave. Like, you know, like stand up and leave. Like, they're kind of just like, you clearly want this marriage. Like you, and you're sticking by him. You've stuck by him for so long. And it's like, Big Sean did propose to Naya Rivera, like within a month of them dating. Rest in peace. Like and it's like, so he has shown that he will get on down on a knee for someone. And so it's just like, people have just been like, stand up. Like you, like they believe she's kind of like how we talk about Beyonce sometimes, is like drunk in love, like just like willing to stand by this man, but he's playing in her face. So what are your thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts, but
I'm ready to listen.
I mean, I really like the TikTok that you sent me, because I do think that really summed it up, which I can put in here.
Put it in there.
So I've seen the video of Big Sean talking about not being ready to marry Janae Aiko just yet, and I've been seeing all the discourse around men who rationalize having kids with you but not wanting to marry you, and I believe that I've come up with my own hypothesis as to why this phenomenon is the way that it is. The theory is really simple. I believe that a lot of these men who think this way fear divorce way more than child support. They fear being a bad husband way more than they fear being a bad dad. These men look at marriage as a higher level of responsibility and expectation from them than they do parenthood. And that has to do with patriarchy and how women are looked to being the caregivers more than men are. They don't feel that as much is required of them in parenthood as it would be in a marriage to not only get married, but stay married. I also believe that a lot of these men don't have faith in their character and their qualities to be able to get married and stay married successfully. Parenthood does not require fidelity the way that marriage does. For these men, parenthood does not require emotional availability and communication the ways in which a marriage would. And a lot of these men have heard the horror stories of men in their lives who, because of their their own actions got a divorce, and that divorce just ruined their entire lives. Ruined their lives in ways that child support did not. And when these men talk to one another about the horror stories of their divorce, they're hearing a mirroring of actions that they do currently and thinking, oh shit, this could happen to me if I get married. Oh no, I ain't doing that. A lot of these men fear marriage more than parenthood because they fear that they cannot live up to the standard of not being faithful and being able to communicate their emotions and being able to be vulnerable with their partner forever. So having a baby is easier, especially if you have a baby by a good woman who you know will always take care of your kid regardless of how irresponsible you are. In conclusion, having a kid with a woman and not marrying her just means less responsibility for him, and depending on their dynamic, an endless supply of coochie for him with no strings attached. Yeah.
But yeah, like as she was kind of saying, like men, I do really feel like the divorce thing is big because divorce directly hits the pockets, and it's like you know, somebody potentially getting like half of everything they own and alimony and all this stuff. So I feel like, yeah, I really feel like it's like boy math. Like that's like the first thing I thought of. Like a baby is less commitment than a marriage. Like a marriage, you could literally get divorced, never see each other again, never talk again. Like, you know, at some point, whatever. It's like a breakup, but it's just a more intense
formal
breakup.
and intense,
yeah, with money involved. And a baby, it's like you are going to have to talk to this person for the rest of your life, like, you know, or at least until they are able to manage the communication.
And
they
it's like a
talk
human.
to their dad,
I
right?
feel like,
it's a human that you have to raise.
You're responsible for a person for the rest of your life. Like I feel like Mello, and you probably feel like this with Jupiter, like it was like a reality check to me the first time my parents like left me alone with a Mello, and I was like, shit, like this is my dog, like I'm responsible for a living thing. I can't imagine having a human. It's like I have to teach them all these things and character
how to
building,
talk, walk, be a human,
financially be responsible for them, and then this is for the rest of my fucking life. Like I'm sure that would hit me like a reality check. You know, it's insane to me that like that is not like a serious thing. But sorry, keep going. I don't want to interrupt you.
But I think just like what the lady was saying, having a good mother that they know is going to take care of this baby, like, you know, like they know that definitely eases somebody's mind, because if she wasn't there, then what would you be doing? You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it, for some reason, that makes some men feel like it feels like it's really a choice. Like, okay, am I gonna stay and be a good whatever,
like or, a father?
Yes, or am I gonna have a less active role in this child's life? And I do feel like there's room. Obviously, relationships are real. Like people get divorced, people have kids and they break up or whatever. And I want to make room too for, because I was gonna bring up like, you know, like marriage as a concept or whatever. But it sounds like Janae Aiko wants, I hope I'm saying her name right, Janae Aiko. I think that she does want to get married. So it is, I do feel like a lot of, I've seen like YouTubers and stuff, like they have like this one Gold Juice, this channel called Gold Juice. They like have 2 kids and they're not married, and they're talking about getting married forever, and it's just like, but they got 2 babies. Like it's just, I don't know what it is. I think men, and also the infidelity piece, like what she's basically everything that lady says. I really agree with.
What are you trying to say about the Gold Juice thing? Like it's like they have 2 kids, so you think that's like hindering the man from wanting to propose to her?
No, I'm just saying that this was like, I've seen a lot of this type of setup where it's like, okay, like we're together, we have 2 babies, but we're not married. And like the girl, like people are always asking them like, when are you gonna propose? Like, and, you know, they're YouTubers, so they're like waiting for this proposal video or something. I honestly don't know what's going on with them now, but I just thought of them and just other people that, you know, they have a family, they're just not married. And it's like, it is, I do feel like maybe some people are, like he was saying, like, you know, working on themselves and want to be at a specific place before you get married.
Like, look,
but it doesn't make sense. Again, the math isn't mathing.
The math isn't mathing because I'm like, you're too fucking grown to believe that all relationships have to be perfect to get to the point of marriage. Like, people in marriages have fights. People in marriages go to therapy. Like, it just because you're in a marriage doesn't mean all of a sudden your relationship is perfect or you're ready to like be married if it's perfect. And then secondly, just like, so it's just like, it's hard for me to believe that he actually believes that. Like, and then because I'm like, this man's like what, 35, 37? Like, it's hard for me to believe he actually believes that. And then also I'm just like, I feel like I really agree with you when you're saying it's almost presents it as if like, yeah, it's rooted in misogyny. So it's like, yes, at the end of the day, they know that the mother is there, that the primary caregiving is probably going to be going to the mother due to like breastfeeding and all these things. So it's just like that, like you can opt out. So it's not as much of a risk, right? As a marriage where you can't just opt out.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're just like, well, you know, push comes to shove, I can pay, you know, show up once a week. I can give the money. I
or
can
even
you know,
be active, but just like easier way get away.
That's true.
From
That's true.
Away. And it's like,
yeah.
Well, why are you wanting to have a baby with somebody? Or like, you know, and like it seems like it feels intentional, but we don't know that. Obviously, we don't know.
We're just giving our opinion, unsolicited.
But like, you know, there are people that I feel like do intentionally have babies and aren't married necessarily. And again, I'm like, I am open to like, and obviously, like, these aren't my decisions, but I am open to the conversation about just like marriage and
families looking different ways. Like, marriage is not the goal.
Marriage evolving as like a concept versus like, you know, these old things like you got to get married or whatever.
I'm open to that too. I guess I'm like, I feel
but
like in this
a lot of these men, I'll finish that by saying a lot of these men do aspire to marriage. Like it's like I hear it from them. They want a wife, they want wifey, they want blah blah blah. And the truth of the matter is, men benefit the most from marriage. Like that, those studies have been done.
Yes, they do. Hell yeah.
Okay, so
I agree. And I feel like, and we're talking about marriage in this, you know, we're centering marriage in this conversation because the interview with Charlemagne, you know, he directly asked him about marriage. So we're talking about it. But yes, we're open to like, you know, different ways to think, reimagining family. But I also feel like, yes, fidelity is also a piece too, because it's just like the girl in the TikTok basically says, they understand they lack the character to be like a loyal, faithful husband. And to them, getting their dick sucked and their dick whacked by whoever they want is more fucking serious to them.
Until they get to that point.
Exactly. It's more fucking serious and a priority to them that they'd rather have the fucking baby and just like, you know, and that's less of a serious thing than committing to this one person, which is just like also insane.
There is also pressure, I think, too weirdly as a man to have babies. I know that's like sounds crazy, but I've definitely heard men be like, "Oh, you don't got a baby yet? Like you're 31 and you like
what the fuck?"
Yes,
I don't really talk to that many men, but
it's very like it's definitely rooted in homophobia because it's like, you know what, like what's up with you? Like I have heard that rhetoric.
Wow.
And so I do feel like, you know, people definitely have that mind, like, you know, that kind of thought process of just like, you don't have a baby right now, like certain, you know, certain parts of our community. And maybe even more than certain part. Maybe it really is across the board. Like I'm not a, you know, straight cis man, so I don't really know what those conversations are like. But I have overheard that sentiment through just talking to some men, you know?
That is so fascinating to me because I'm like, a baby is not nothing to fucking play with. Like, it's not a fucking
It's
token. It's not a
nothing.
fucking, what did they, that thing from Harry Potter where they're like collecting the stones or whatever the fuck it is? It's like,
Yes.
this is not that. Like, this
Right.
is a real,
Horcruxes.
yeah. And that's what I'm just like, it makes me think that some men actually don't see it as like a serious commitment. Like, you know, like they don't see it as that serious. And I wonder if it's because they understand they could even be active but still take the back seat to the mother who's like the
Yep.
primary caregiver, that they're
Yep.
just like, oh, like you don't have a baby yet, like it's a fucking
I
new
mean,
pair of Jordans. Like that's
yeah,
insane.
it is. And it's like the amount of attention, love, and care these children need. It's just like having a baby is like the most serious thing you could ever do. And it's like these kids are freaking,
Well,
you know, helpless coming into the world. They did not ask to be here. And
wait.
you're just thinking
You're
that this is
right.
just a random Saturday
You're
night.
absolutely right. Like these, and that's why it's like sad because I was actually, it makes me think of like Baby Future. And
Yeah.
I know this is a little bit of a jump, but I also do want to return back to the Janae Aiko thing because I have a question for you. But it makes me think of Baby Future. I was thinking about Baby Future today because someone had, like, Russell Wilson had tweeted like just randomly like a picture of Baby Future and was like, you're like, you know, you're the sunshine of my life, like, you know, seeing you work hard in sports is so cool and I love you so much. And there were so many people in the comments like just like one bashing like him being like, like people were just being like inactive fathers are triggered because they were like, there was like people telling in the comments just being like, you're not his fucking daddy. And then there's people,
Oh my God.
and then there's people being like, whoever loves the child is good. But it made me think about how Baby Future did not ask to be born into a situation where he has a father who basically contacts him once a year for his birthday via Twitter, and who has like and who has like
allegedly.
I'm sorry, allegedly. And I mean, I'm just going off of what Sierra said in that one video, in that one interview, when they asked if Baby Future and if Future's an active father, and she busted out laughing. So it's just like, I can only go by that to mean he's not an active father, and thank God for Russell Wilson. And then secondly, it's just like, I know Future has a lot of other kids in the mix, and so it's just like, but yeah, it like made me think of these Baby Future and those other kids where it's just like, these fucking kids don't ask to be born into this situation. The least you can fucking do is then show up.
Yeah.
And I wonder if having a baby with Sierra at the time when Future had a baby with Sierra was not that fucking big of a deal, because at that point he had plenty of other baby mothers, and also, you know what I'm saying, he like possibly thought like, I don't really have to be that, this is not a serious thing.
I
mean,
know? And I feel like for Sierra, she probably did think it was like,
oh,
we're
absolutely.
gonna get married. And I think a lot of people, sadly, a lot of people think that the baby, I mean, people definitely have babies to keep people around.
That's
I think
so
sometimes it is very sad, but I think I hate to like think that, but I do feel that way. Like, I mean, people say like we had a baby to like try to save the situation, and it like, you know, wasn't savable. But it is sad. It is. I don't play around with people's lives like that, because I'm just like, once this little baby gets here, it's like, you are responsible for it, making it happy, and like, I mean, more than just making it happy, like keeping it alive and all that stuff, but
and molding it into like a beautiful, amazing, creative citizen. And that's why I'm just like, thank God for Russell Wilson, because I'm just like, to me, it's just interesting. I don't know. It's
Future, Baby Future is like gonna be super grateful for this man in his life that stepped up and is present every day. Exactly. Y'all. That's what it has to be. I know sometimes there's situations like, you know, obviously like people, you know, they have like their days or whatever, but like it really, what I'm learning as I'm like healing, and what my, you know, human needs were when I came into this world, like the type of love, attention, affection, all that stuff that I needed. It is pure presence with my parents. Like, you know, like if there are two people, because I think also too, it's like, you know, what does a baby need? Like, I feel like that's like a big thing. And like, I think single women having babies, but if it's like, I think that's okay. You know, I think you can provide all of that. But I feel like in terms of, if there is if there's somebody that's introduced as a parent,
Yeah,
you
they should
can't
be
you know, you need somebody that is
They should
checking
be
in with
there,
you
yeah.
emotionally, socially, like giving you way more attention than we
To
even
me,
imagine.
like one of the most piss poor things you could be as a person is like a deadbeat parent, because it's just like the child is like the most innocent person in the situation, also one of the most vulnerable people in the situation, and you kind of just leave them out there to high and dry. Like, I think it is the most, and it's also unfair to put that on the other fucking parent. Like, I'm like, I don't know, like, I also like think about like my I feel like I really be feeling like single, like I'm not a single mom, but like, you know, single parent life, when I like one of my old students that I used to teach, me and her mom are real cool, so we follow each other on Instagram and, you know, communicate. And she just had a baby a year ago, and she like sometimes like here they were put on her story, like, I just want to reiterate, like, I am doing this by myself. Like, the girl that I taught, who's now in like high school, like her first child's father is a fucking deadbeat. Like, she has to pay for this girl's like hair, nails, clothes, like, you know,
everything,
hygiene, everything. She now rent. She now just has like another baby, and she's like, and his father's not in this either. You know, like, I'm having to now have another child where I'm on my one single check paying for Pampers now added in, like baby food, formula, all these things for babies, doctor's visits. Everything. And I'm just like, how can you at all? And like, I know I have met the first child's father before, like one time. And so it's just like, I know he lives in the area, he's alive, and he is well. It's like, how can you walk around this earth knowing you have a child who also does, and you don't talk to them? You don't even send money for them. It should be the most embarrassing, humiliating thing ever.
You should not be respected. Like your friend should be looking at you like, what the fuck? It should be another doing?
You know how like we always talk about like you should be excommunicated if you like kill another black person. As a black person, I mean anybody, but let's just keep this in the name of black community. As a black person, to have another black child and literally not be there for them, excommunicated. That's another way to lose your black card.
Yes. Seriously, because I think I do believe in, like, you know, the divine plan. I think like babies are, you know, miracles, and they're meant to be here if they get here. But it's like, we still need to do better. Like, these innocent babies do not, like, when they come, we need to be giving them everything that we got. Like, that is the whole point. And it's sick. It is sick.
I don't think people, I think men truly don't, like, some men, you know, there are obviously amazing fathers out there.
Yes,
my father's one of them, you know, like, but it's just like,
there are amazing fathers
but
out
I
there.
Mean, it's just,
and it's
like,
necessary.
Yes, but I oftentimes, you know, I do feel like, you know, women get stuck with the brunt of the caregiving at times. And I feel like because of that, it allows men to kind of think it's maybe not that much of a commitment or as serious as it could be. And I wonder if that's playing into the situation with this idea that having a baby is less of a commitment.
I mean, it is definitely normalized. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and like act like it's not. You know, like, it is normalized. Like, men, it seems like, have the option. You know, it's like, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to be, what level am I going to be at? Am I like okay with being like, you know, here? And then, you know, you're wanting so much credit for just, you know, coming around sometimes, whatever. It's like, what level? It's like you get to choose what level of active you are. Yes. That's what it is. And women, it's like, and some women, obviously, you know, we have deadbeat mothers too that don't like, that have abandoned their child and stuff. But I feel like it's more rare because again, from the beginning, they are literally surviving off of them. Exactly. You know? And you grow them obviously for 9 months. It's just like, but it's still just like, I don't buy the whole like, oh well, they're just not connected to the baby because they didn't grow them. It's just like, you made this. They look like you, okay? Like they look
and
like
I don't
you.
think that's realistic at all, even for the parent. Like I have a friend who had a baby a while ago, and I had asked her when I had visited her, like, so did you know instantly did everything change? And I remember her being like, no, like, I really, I loved it. I loved the baby because I birthed the baby, but I didn't really actually like, it wasn't like
You're
the
getting to
world
know
changed until I got to know the baby, and it was like, oh, she's funny and she's quirky, and oh my god, I love your personality, and I now like, and so I just feel like, no, it's not like that for the mothers either. It's like you do the work because you're a fucking responsible person, but also just like if as a partner, I would be so unattracted to somebody if they had a kid that they did not see every day.
I know.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that would be a red flag for me.
I think it's definitely it's something that I've had to like understand. Honestly, before I really understood like what kids need, like what they need, what level of attention, and mostly just like attention and presence. Like it is way more than like I think we could ever fathom, because even if you're in the house with them every day, even if you're seeing your child every day, you still might not be emotionally available for your child.
Yeah.
And so there's levels to this, and so we're just trying to get y'all in the home, or like making a commitment to the woman that you say that you love and that's birthed your child.
Right.
And how about we think about, what we're doing and what kind of trauma in life we're putting on to this woman, because this woman, and we're talking about some situations, obviously everything's different, but it's like this woman loves you, they just had they have your baby, and it's just like, and I'm not saying that every woman's perfect and whatever, like obviously there are manipulative people everywhere, but we're going to talk about, things where it's just like, this person really does want a family with you. Janae Aiko showing her ring off to Big Sean. It's just like, when are you going to put a ring on it? Like, that to me, I would also be unattractive. It would make my self-esteem be just,
like, I would what do you think is going on with Janae? Like, do you think her self-esteem has been like, what do you think is going on with that? Like, do you think she just deals with it? Like, I can't imagine, like,
I don't know.
After that clip went viral, and then now you see your man in an interview saying, like, I don't know. I mean, we got things to work on.
Some people, I feel like, get on board with the mental gymnastics of like, we do have things to work, like we're working on things, and we'll do it when we're ready, and like they whatever, but they might really be, they might be putting that need away to keep this person around, but what they really want is commit, like they really want to be married, or they want that type of commitment from this person, and like that family unit, I guess. And yeah, I feel like subconsciously a lot of times people deal with stuff, and it's just like it is hurting your self-esteem every little time, like you have to ask for it, or like you think about it, or it's just like, it's such a stupid thing that they're like dangling over your head. It's just like, nigga, I have your baby, what are you waiting for?
And so that's like an interesting point. I feel like that girl like, made in the video, where it's like, you gave him everything at this point, why does he need to marry?
I'm like, and I think that again just adds to, like, I don't know if like the word like misogyny or whatever, but just like women having to perform to be quote unquote deserving of this being your wife. Like, it's just it's just like, do you understand, like, you should be wanting to do this, like, again, for the men out there, like, I don't know if we have any male listeners, but your life will activate what is that?
I don't know what she listening to. Go ahead.
But like, men, like, I feel like a lot of times men's life elevates when they have a solid person in their life. Their money gets better. Like, you know, they feel like they're living life for real.
But maybe they have that with this. Like, I believe that. I'm sure Janae Aiko is solid for Big Sean, loyal as hell, and he gets to still not be fully committed.
And that's why expressing your needs and setting your own bottom lines are so important, because we'll stick around and deal with stuff that we don't really want. And it's just like, you cannot, your worth, you have to like be like, this is what I want. This is my life. I'm not about to wait around for anybody to like choose me. Like, it's either we're choosing each other or we're not right now. Like, you know, and it's just like, what do you mean work? What work do you have to do? We're in a committed relationship, right?
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't know.
But are they?
I'm like very triggered by that. Like, I'm just like, okay, fine, you don't want to marry her, but I'm like, I'm just very triggered by the notion that like you believe that like the baby was a less commitment. Like, I'm
so triggered by it too. It's like you're assuming that I'm just gonna take care of this baby.
Yeah, and I'm just like, if I'm Janae Aiko, I'm kind of like, I would be looking at him like, what the fuck? Like, this baby should be. This is the ultimate commitment.
Where are you planning to go?
Right. We just made the ultimate commitment together by having a fucking baby. Like, what? Like,
I would definitely be like, where are you thinking about going? What do you have to think about?
I don't know. That's why I'm always like, I just need us like to like, you know, just put our, you know, think logically, be in love, fall, and all of that. But it's just like, also don't play yourself. Like, don't be in a situation where like, you know, you end up hurt or like really in a bad situation.
And you don't even have to have like, because I feel like marriage just like comes with like a lot of pressure to like have a wedding and like have a huge wedding and make it whatever. Just like, I'm sure, I know, like, you know, obviously people have their wants and stuff, but like, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a little ceremony and then like, you know, just
go to the courthouse, get fucking tattoos, and drink your favorite cocktails that day, and be
and like right. It's just like lock it down, like you know, like
have to be that serious.
It doesn't. And if that is what you're saying that you want, or do you want to be out here, like, or is there something else out? Or is there something else out there that you think that you're missing out?
Have his cake and eat it too. In my opinion, it's like you want to be able to, like, not be fully committed, so you can, you know, also date other people, have sex with other people, but you also don't want to lose Janae Aiko.
But I just feel like at this point, y'all, we're getting grown. Like, this person, like, you know, at a certain point, and I know this is gonna sound bad. This is gonna sound bad, but it's just like, it's okay to be divorced, you know, like
that's very normal.
It's okay to like try for it and like, you know, whatever, like it's okay to, obviously I know people don't want to do that, like that shouldn't be the goal or whatever, but it's just like, if you're gonna be trying to wait until you're perfect and they're perfect and everything's perfect, it's like, that's not gonna
it's never gonna happen. And I don't know, I feel like I've had a lot of conversations with people like this where it's like, yes, it's amazing to find a person and be like, we are compatible at every stage of our life. And each time I'm like, we should, you know, we both want to choose each other. But I also think it's also very normal to maybe have that bond with someone for 20 years. And then in 20 years, be like, hey, we're actually like not, you know, we're more friends, or we're not really feeling it anymore, or like, you know, we're not compatible, whatever. And then you find another partner for another 20 years. That doesn't mean the first marriage was bad. It doesn't mean it was a mistake. It means that like, it makes sense that for 20 years, someone might be compatible and then y'all might grow, you know?
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Like, do you think that humans are like, do you think that we want, like, that is the family dynamic that is most ideal for children?
What, like two parents?
Yeah. And like, I guess like healthy parents, happy parents, like I think that's really it. Non-traumatized parents that are able to be present. But I also am curious, like in terms of where marriage comes in and this like commitment, what is like, I honestly have to define that for myself. Like, am I looking for a life partner? Yes, I feel like, but I'm like, is it because society's telling me to look for a life partner, you know?
Well, I feel like that's two separate things. Like I feel like a child, I feel like needs constant care, a constant caregiver. Whether that's
Yes.
one person,
Guardian.
three
Yes.
people, a village around them, they need constant healthy caregiving. So I feel like for me, I don't really care.
They need to feel wanted and
Yes, I don't
loved.
feel like really care what that. I don't have a judgment on what that looks like because I don't. I mean, like one of the girls I used to work with, one of her friends, they're like, both having like two of her friends are both having a baby, and they just decided to like buy a house together and like raise the kids together.
Yeah.
And so it's just like they're
we're gonna see more of that. I think.
And so that's why I'm like, I don't think that it matters if it's like the person who birthed you or whatever. I think it matters that you have constant people from the time you're born to the time you're dead. You know what I'm saying? Like that love you and are healthy and that support you. Yep. But I feel like and then also with life partner, I feel like that's a different question because that's more so like me facing than like the kid facing. I think that
yeah, because it's like, because I mean, in this situation, it's just like, well, we can be consistent parents, but what about our relationship?
Exactly.
You know, and so that's what I'm asking. Like, what do you think about like people having babies and like what is a good level of commitment that people should have? Because
with their partner, you're saying?
With their partner, because of the nature of life, you know, it's just like sometimes
I think they should have a healthy communication. Like I mean, Miguel, like he had his old roommate, who's like a gay man, is having a baby with a straight woman. They're like both we're like, we think we would be good co-parents together, let's have a baby together. And they like, the girl who is having the baby has like a boyfriend, so it's like all these people in the dynamic. Like there's the boyfriend, there's the mother of the child, then there's the father of the child, and I think he has a boyfriend as well. And so I guess what I'm saying is like, I don't think the relationship with me matters if it's sexual or not. I think it's more so
in this situation, it's more so the fact that like they're not saying all this. They're saying like, we want to get married one day, but we're not ready.
And like Janae Aiko and Big Sean.
Yes, because I'm just like,
allegedly,
in that case, maybe the public is pressuring this, like, you know, marriage on them when like they have like an understanding about the child, like, okay, we're raising this child together, but in terms of our relationship, it's like we don't know if we want to be together forever.
And I think that's a beautiful thing if it's like you want to reimagine what a family unit looks like and what a relationship, or just like
we're not good together.
I think that's good. You know? I also feel like you always say this, and it always makes me think about it, how you always say, you know, we are a country that's like a love addicted country, and like really centered on like couples and like the marriage and the like, you know, soulmate. And it's a fairy tale. And so it's like, I feel like, so I feel like growing up as a person, a lot of people are then taught to like idolize, you know, and work towards the marriage and the picket fence and the family. And I feel like, I think sometimes, to answer your question, like, I do think some people actually really want that, but I also think sometimes people believe they want that, but they don't understand what else they could want because they don't have the imagination or the example to think about, or the permission to think about what else this could look like. And so I think, like you're like what you're saying, it's like, do I want a life partner? Do I want like a, what, you know, all these different choices, but it's like, that's why I'm so thankful we are not married right now, because I'm just like, we are giving ourselves the permission, the example, and the imagination to think what else could it look like, you know?
Yes. And I think the biggest thing too is just like people putting more thought into bringing a child into the world. Like, it's not just like about the relationship for real. It really is about like, okay, this act brings a child, or this like, this act of any kind, whether it's like insemination, whatever. This act of bringing a child into the world is about the child. It's really not even about our relation. Like, it is, obviously, because it's two
You're
people.
right. It's about the child, but it's also like, you must understand this is the biggest commitment us two people can make. It's
and
not
it's just
a joke,
like, and I think we definitely having more thought about, like, well, what do I want? Do I want a child? Like, do I want this man? or like, or do I want a baby, and do I wish this man would commit to me? But that's what I want, but you're not like really thinking it through and like talking to this person and making sure that that's what they want. And obviously that takes a lot of people being honest with themselves and having these vulnerable emotional conversations. And just kind of going back to that video that the woman was talking about in the video, like the emotional intelligence and communication that it takes for a marriage, but also just for a relationship. And that same level of care and consideration, and we got to do more work, should be done with having a baby. Like, that's like, this is an adult that you're dealing with. You're bringing a innocent child into this, whatever the fuck dynamic y'all got going on. It's like the level of thought and care that we take of getting married, because this is a way bigger commitment, needs to be even more for having a child. And it's just so willy-nilly, like it's just like an act of passion and the time that we were in. It's just like, this is gonna be 1 second years ago. Like, you're gonna be like, that one time that whatever. And again, just reiterating, the way that babies get into this world, like, everybody has a different story. And I think that, thank God for some of these situations where, the baby, like, like a single mother had these beautiful babies and now they're angels in our lives. And just like Simone Biles, it's just like her parents were not really,
her mother was an addict.
Her mother was an addict, and it's just like, she's here, and yay, she made it through that. And it's just, but I do think that we should be striving for a world that, like, kids don't have to go through like that level of trauma.
No, and it's just, and we'll see, and I'm sure he's a great father, but I just feel like the whole principle, like, having a baby is the biggest commitment you can make to someone else. It is bigger than a marriage commitment.
Yes,
so like there should be no confusion about that. And I absolutely think you hit on the head where it's like, and this work of communication between you and your partner and all that should be happening. Like, that should have been like, hold on, instead of hold on, we can't get married because we have to work on communication. It should have been like, we can't have a baby because we need to work on communication.
Exactly. And so we can barely talk. Like, now we have to bring another baby in here. Like, what?
I mean, but wait, let's start wrapping it up.
Let's wrap it up.
I did want to give a couple things though. Like, today, Kamala did announce her new vice president pick as Tim Walz from Minnesota. And also,
hey, shout out Minnesota.
Shout out the Midwest.
I got family out there.
I have no family, but I used to live in Milwaukee. And Beyonce donated $4 million to Kamala, so shout out to Beyonce.
Yes, thank you, B.
Yes,
and for Samantha, showing your support.
Yes, and Julia told me that I don't know how she found this out, but or maybe you told me this, that Beyonce is like planning move some stuff in her schedule to like do an event with Kamala.
Yeah, she's like, there was a headline that was like, she cleared her schedule to like be at like something.
Love to see it.
Yeah.
So thank you, Beyonce.
Thank you for real for like,
supporting this woman.
This, and just in this necessary time, not being quiet.
Put your money where your mouth is, and just like, your whole platform is Black women, supporting them, and you're actually doing it. So we thank you. And anything else you want to just plug?
Shout out to the Olympics. Still very
Yes.
inspired by all of these amazing athletes. And I just
Yes.
want them to know that they are amazing. Like, you know, I know there's been like some weird stuff happening with like people like dropping out of the race.
Oh my
'cause,
God,
like,
yeah.
whatever. And it's just like, don't let that get to y'all. You guys are amazing. We see you, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want any diaspora wars, okay? My black is your black, okay? And I'm just so happy for everybody. Oh my God, Rebecca winning. It was so amazing.
I know. And Sha'Carri got silver. And today, Gabby Thomas. I'm like, go girl.
Oh my God, yes. I'm so happy.
Yes.
I love the Olympics. Like, I am all about it now. Because it's just all these regular people being amazing.
If you would like us to talk about something, please email us at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. I don't know why I always say that. whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. And until next time.
Make sure you guys rate and review, guys. We're growing. We are
growing. And
send it to your friends.
Yes, send it to your friends. All right. Well, have a good night. Love you.
Bye, guys. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Remember to email us your discussion topics at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to Who Am I to Judge podcast on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcasts. If you love us, please rate us and review. And if you don't, leave us alone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. See y'all next week. Bye, friends.